Today I want to talk about something I think is quietly keeping a lot of women stuck. We were conditioned to ask for permission before we act, before we speak, before we take up space. And somewhere along the way, in childhood, school, relationships, workplaces, we learned that the right thing to do was wait. Wait until someone says you're ready. Wait until someone gives you the green light, right? Wait until you've earned the right to step forward. And most of us brought that conditioning straight into our businesses without even realizing it. So today I want to talk about what permission seeking actually looks like in the context of building an online business. Because it doesn't always look like waiting. Sometimes it looks like buying another course. And I want to tell you what happened when I finally stopped waiting and gave myself permission instead. So when I look back at the years that I spent not building, the years I was preparing and researching and consuming and buying courses, I used to tell myself I was just getting ready. I was getting knowledgeable enough. But here's what was actually happening. I was looking for permission. Every course that I bought was me hoping that this would be the one that finally made me feel worthy to speak on the topic. Not just knowledgeable, but worthy. Like I had earned the right to show up and have an opinion. Like someone with credentials or success had looked at me and said, yes, you are qualified to do this now. And obviously no course was ever going to give me that because worthiness isn't something you learn from a module. Permission isn't something that comes from a course. So I was waiting for an external signal that was never going to arrive. And every course I bought was just a more sophisticated way of avoiding the thing that actually scared me, which was showing up publicly with my own ideas before anyone had told me I was allowed to. So if you've been buying courses hoping the next one will finally make you feel ready, I want you to consider the possibility that you're not seeking knowledge, but you're seeking permission. And there's a very big difference between the two because knowledge fills a gap while permission seeking fills time. And time is the thing you can't get back. So here's the part that stung when I finally let myself see it clearly. Nobody was coming. No mentor was going to tap me on the shoulder and say, you're ready now. No upline was going to pull me aside and tell me I had something special worth building on my own. And no course creator was going to include a module called, congratulations, you now have permission to be yourself online. And I would have loved that. I genuinely would have loved for any person with success to have sat me down and said, you have something here, go build it, you're ready. But that's not how it works. The people at the top of whatever industry you're in are not in the business of telling you that you don't need their system anymore. That's not a criticism of them. It's just the reality of how these ecosystems are structured. Your independence isn't something anyone else is incentivized to encourage, which means the permission has to come from you and only from you. So stop waiting for someone further along to tell you you're ready. They're not going to. Not because they don't care about you, but because giving you that permission isn't their job. It's yours. And it always has been. So I want to tell you what happened when I finally stopped waiting. It was just a decision made on a regular day. I am doing this. No more courses first. No more preparing. No more waiting to feel qualified. I am starting now with what I have, and I'm going to figure the rest out along the way. And the feeling that came with that decision wasn't confidence. It was relief because the waiting was finally over. Relief because I had finally committed and I was going to make it happen no matter what. Relief because I didn't have to keep looking for someone else's validation before I could take the next step. The decision itself was enough. And here's what I want you to understand. It wasn't because the fear went away. The fear was still there. I still didn't feel fully ready. I still wondered if I knew enough or had enough to offer, but the decision had been made. And once a real decision is made, the fear became secondary to the commitment. So I went live on YouTube for 30 days straight after that decision. I wore the same outfit every time. Nobody was watching. Every single day I showed up, I was proving to myself that I didn't need anyone's permission to do this. That my voice, my perspective, my ideas were enough to start with. Not enough to be perfect, but to start. And you don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel confident. You don't need to feel worthy. You just need to decide and then show up and let the doing teach you what the preparing never could. The permission you've been waiting for isn't coming from the outside. It's been inside you this whole time, waiting for you to claim it. So here's the takeaway today. The conditioning is real. The desire for someone else to tell you you're ready is real. The courses and the consuming and the preparing, all real ways of seeking permission that was never going to come from the outside. But the moment you stop waiting and decide you are the one who gets to say when you're ready, everything shifts. Not because the circumstances change, but because you do. So give yourself permission today, now, not when you know more, not when you feel more qualified or when someone else tells you it's time, but now. And if you want clarity on what to actually build once you've made that decision, your lane, your message, your assets, your visibility, the Authority Audit will show you where to start. The link is in the description below. I'd love it if you'd drop a comment before you go. What have you been waiting for permission to do? And what would change if you gave it to yourself today? I would love to know, and I'll see you next time.